Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me here today on intentional living. We're now into episode 3, and I'm going to continue where I left off from episode 2 and talk about providing the atmosphere of faith, which gave me many things. I won't say that it was all easy and that some of it wasn't a little daunting and viewing that place of rethinking what am I doing because it's new and never really stepped into that type of faith before. So it gave me many things, but it gave me gratitude that is also part of authenticity to be able to accept the circumstances. Okay, so what I mean by that is, let's say something comes up that we feel in our lives is catastrophic in nature, whatever that may be. Not talking about right, but I mean something that comes up like an unforeseen expense. Okay. And there literally nothing you can do to change it. But what we've been doing in fight or flight mode and that anxiousness and the overwhelmedness we've been living in as we panic, we go, okay, how am I going to fix this? Blah, blah, blah. And not really just, and sometimes there's anger. Anger comes up about a circumstances as if whatever happened, even though it wasn't done by the purpose of doing it to us, we still, as victims, we go, it's always me, it's whatever those things are. And the anger comes and all of those things. And what you want to do instead of doing that, when you're stepping into this unknown way now of reacting and acting to things, then it can be a little bit of challenge in the beginning. And even when there's those times when you have to sustain it for a length of time because it seems like it's forever, right? But so what I'm talking about here is you accepting circumstances in a way that's not blocking things that you could align to help your situation. Now, what do I mean by that? So we, I'm not hoping that all of you are relating to the manifestation, creating your own reality, becoming that co-creator, pulling from the quantum field, all of those things. So God said that there's infinite prosperity, infinite possibilities always there. But we are just now learning to tap into how do you even see that? What are you talking about? I don't get that. If I'm not manifesting it through all my doing, then how am I supposed to do that through just being in the moment? So if you're able to accept the circumstance, okay, letting go of focusing on the lack, okay, this is going to be a little challenging at first, but you can do it, okay, because we've been taught to focus on that, fix it, focus on that, fix it, put out all the fires, fix it. And it's very exhausting, okay? So being able to accept that and also accepting who I am and that the universe is ready and God is ready for me to participate in this way. So they've probably been over there for eons going, is she ready yet? Is she ready yet? Maybe today. Well, not there yet. Can you imagine your spirit guides and angels and whatever doing that your whole life? God knows how many ones. So just know that you're going to be able to participate in a daily awareness of the world around you in a new way. At least that's how it felt for me. And some examples. So let me give you an example of intentional living that I love. There was a story by Ram Dass that I absolutely love. And I'm going to give you my version. So just know that I've added some concepts here. Okay. It's just not cut and dry as his. So there was a man who had a horse, and this horse ran away. His neighbor, now this can either be his neighbor or the ego. So think about that, right? Here it comes. Oh my God, your horse ran away. How stupid is your horse? And look at you. You must not be living right. Now, how you going to plow your fields? And just all these comments, right? And those are definitely things that could be going on in your head. Those are also things that someone else who is not living in the same way you are could be saying to you. But it also could be conceived as something else, which would be Satan. You've always seen the little movies or cartoons where there's an angel on one shoulder and Satan on the other. Okay. So it could even be considered something that's negative or negative energy in some way. Nothing scary. It's a part of who you are. Okay. So, no, people, I'm not telling you you're Satan. So just calm down. So, literally, here we are. The guy comes over, and this man whose horse ran away says, I don't know. We'll see. Nice and calm. Nothing else. No added expectation. No all that other thing. So the next day, the horse comes back and it has a wild horse with him. And now two horses. Wow. So now here comes the neighbor ego going, oh my God, look at you, how blessed you are. And you are just, you must be praying to God and living your life right and treating people good. And now look at you, you're just doubly blessed. And you see how quickly it changed because they're only looking at the current circumstances that they can take in with their five senses. Okay. The man again says, I don't know. We'll see. So the third day comes, and the man has a son. And the son comes out of the house and he says, I want to ride that wild horse. Father doesn't try to stop him. He gets on the horse. And of course, it didn't end well. And the horse threw him off and broke his leg. Oh, Lord. Here comes that neighbor again. Oh, my God. Your whole family must be cursed. What are you doing to create this for yourself? Horse goes and brings another horse that breaks your son's leg. Now look at the expense of that. And he's not going to be able to help you maintain the farm and all these things. And the man again, calmly, just says, I don't know. We'll see. Here's where it gets good. Fourth day comes and the military comes through. This country was at war and they had been taking everyone's sons with them. Mandatory. Can't get out of it. Except for his son because he had a broken leg. Now, what this man had done was back here through prayer, thought, intention, said to the universe and whoever God and whatever beings were assisting, please do not take my son to Little. I need him to stay here and live his life. He set that out as if it were done. He didn't worry about it every day. He didn't worry going, oh my God, is today the day that it's going to show me? He had to wait that out. You see, now for him, that was only about a 3-day thing. But sometimes it can be much longer than that, which is tough. I mean, it is tough to trust and know, but just have faith in it, guys. You can't control usually or change the situation anyway. You can throw things at it to try to fix it, but it's not probably the real fix. You can go to someone else and have to borrow or whatever you've got to do, but then it really never is the right fix, is how it feels to me. So also know, I know you've probably heard people in your lifetime say, when you pray for set your intention, you don't continue worrying about it, because what does that do? That is negating what you just did. So if people say, give it up to God, that's giving it up to God. That's giving it up to God and God and you to trust that we heard you, you set your intention, and whatever is meant for this happening in your life, not just your soul's journey, but also your son's soul's journey, right? To understand that we will do the best and most loving circumstance possible, and trusting that. And that can be hard when you have been in an emotional state of feeling like a victim your whole life, definitely emotional damage, holding on to trauma, and you can't get out from under that. So there's what we want to get to, is coming out of that and knowing that paying attention to what was needed and allowing the universe to show you what's available to participate with through faith. So that allowed me to be present in the now moment as well. It's called just being. So being present in the now moment is also part of this. I can't be thinking about back here, and I can't be projecting too far forward, but being in the now moment and being at peace, you don't get all that chatter in your head, which then doesn't create all that, right? All that air going on that we're used to participating with every day. Not only that, but once you start operating in this more and more, you are going to affect your physical body. If we know that stress and many other emotional places can affect the physical body and create illness, now what you're doing is going out of that to a place of calmness to allow that body to start regenerating, correct? Correct. So I look at this as, I tell people, we're coming out of this emotional entanglement. It feels like a big knot of emotion, a big knot of hair, something, if you want to visualize it like that. And it keeps us stuck, guys. This is the place where you're talking about, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do next. And it's like you're stuck and unable to move forward in a evolving process that your soul, your heart, and your mind are participating in. This is what I'm talking about, getting back to our innate true nature, because if you've never known it or seen it, how would you even be able to identify that's the right thing to do? This has been going on for eons, right? If your mind is stuck, then you will create many things. You're going to create many things within your thought, within your life, within your body. And here's what we're talking about: illness and disease, or dis-ease. How some people say that, to show you that you're literally creating that vibrationally, chemically, with the things that are going on in your emotions in the body, and you are contributing to that with your thoughts. So all of those things are working in tandem and creating the reality now, not even just in your perception and your thoughts, but in your physical body. Okay. So be aware of that. That's important. Emotionally, humanity is coming out of what I want to call an terrible twos. Think about it. I would call it terrible twos, but you know what 2-year-olds are like, toddlers, 2.5, whatever age you want to give it. But I call it the terrible twos because most people knows what that looks like. We're talking tantrums, and I know you have seen grown people throw a tantrum, be the victim, um, because we feel abandoned, and getting in our own way, we can feel abandoned, but you're really not. You're not. You're imprisoned maybe in your own thought and mind based on skewed perception and reality. You're so spiraled out in the emotional place you're at, and I want to say it's like fraction, and that you are literally not able to have any type of centeredness, alignment, or believe that you're able to help yourself. And we have got to stop this cycle. We have got to, at some point, participate in this and take control of what is driving the vehicle. Okay. And also through consciousness, what is driving the vehicle, because we are all connected. We all are interacting with each other energetically in this place that it is sick. It needs help. It needs, and to me, the best medicine is love. I'm just gonna say it. A spoonful of love would just go a long way and just stir it all in there, right? God with his great big spoon. So separation from others and nature on all levels. So when I say it like that, mind, heart, soul, total disconnect from God, and just not feeling any type of direction with anything, not feeling any type of divinity in yourself, and not even understanding that is a place. And there's divinity within each of us. And if you cannot accept and express that's inside of you, you're definitely not going to see it in someone else, because you don't even know what you're looking at. You might have met some people that you feel that with. And I want to say that just because someone is wearing a certain uniform or something that's presented in a way, I just want to say like maybe a priest or whatever, that does not make them any more divine than you are. It's a level playing field when we're talking about that piece of us. Okay. Some people may be further along in acknowledging these things we're talking about. They may be way further along. And so you may feel like, oh, yeah, they're better than me. But really, I want you to get out of that mindset. They are just in a place that is in a different place than you are. That doesn't make them better than you. That just makes them more experienced in the very thing we're talking about. Okay. So where I want to go next with this is some people may even be in this place that of this emotional entanglement and being stuck in all of those things. And they may also be experiencing their intuitive gifts. That is like their little tap in going into the other side kind of thing, and a spark. And I feel like for some people that is supposed to happen to start you on this journey. But sometimes, and especially, I will say, I know a lot of people that are out here that are struggling because there's no one around them to help them or to understand what is going on with them. Is not crazy. Lots of people, culturally or faith-based, are being shunned and shut out. I know people that come in here and talk to me that can't even live with their family anymore because they're having these premonitions, they're having these visions, they're having these knowing, and their family is so fearful of it and or fearful of their church kicking them out, they don't want to participate with it, nor hear you talk about it. Now, that is damaging to that person. No acceptance or no one there to help them. And they don't know what to do with it. And now they're actually feeling angry about it. They don't want to feel it anymore, and they don't want to participate in it anymore, and they don't want to feel this brokenness inside. So some of that can lead to self-medication and numbing, burying pain, even sometimes as a coping mechanism through your awakening, and being fearful and judged, which we just talked about, by those around you. And there we are now. We're building shame like nobody's business. You're shameful of who you are, and this is a natural part of evolution for humanity to step and walk through. And not only that, but we've had people before us who are definitely in that profound place of getting that type of information, lots of them, including Jesus, Buddha, Lao. all those people, but it was okay for them, but not accepted by you because most people are taught that they're above us, that they're not here. They were in the human form, people. They were presented to us in the human form, and that was the whole point. This is possible, right? So sometimes you're watching this, and this process is part of watching people go through that can be even hard for you to see. So drugs and alcohol, then leading to more guilt and disconnection. So it's like they felt bad about the circumstance and now they've turned to something to numb all that. And now they're feeling more guilt and disconnection, not only from others, but yourself in a complete disassociation because you don't want to be associated with the thing that you were being that caused the whole thing to start with anyway. That's a whole problem. And a lot of this has been brought into my being able to see it, my purview, I guess, I'm saying, or my understanding. But I'm just astonished that people aren't really figuring this out and looking at it and going, okay, so how do we stop this cycle? How do we make change? And here's the thing, we're really good at telling other people how to change, but not wanting to go here. Why is that? Well, fear and emotion and not wanting to deal with it. You can see it in someone else and wholeheartedly want to help them with what you're able to do right here in your 3D sensory being. And that's what we've been doing for a long time. But in reality, what you need to be doing is going in here and do and self-reflection and going inside to look for the answers. Okay. So all of that being said, I want you to realize a few things here. I want to add some statements that I received in some conversation with God and Spirit. And first thing I got was thought is a prayer. Okay, you've ever heard anybody say that your thoughts create your reality? How you act and what you do and what you feel and what you think is your perceptionary lens. So if that lens is way off compared to others, there are some things in here that need to get addressed. Now, I'm not talking about people that are just thinkers that are outside the box. That's different. But if you're always the victim, if there's always some reason that you can't or you won't, or you're always expecting the other shoe to drop kind of feeling, then that's a you thing that you definitely need to go in there and address. Okay. Thought is a prayer. But think about that. When you're having some of those thoughts, those are not going to be presented as a prayer out to the universe, but that's what you're doing. Also, I got prayer is a love language. Prayer is a love language. That would make sense to me because God, the creator, whatever creator you are speaking of, thinking of, or participating in, is love. Everything's created from that. Think about it. Babies are definitely, there's an innocence and an essence that's love. And then they grow up and they learn some things and maybe not so much. But it made total sense to me that if you're praying to God, that is a love language. And the whole language out to the universe is a love language. Okay. So just take that concept in and see what you get with that. But the other thing I got is when we're going through all of this in our lives and an awakening, when we setting forth into intentional living, you are doing what's called learning. You're going, yeah, you're learning. No, I'm going to break it down for you. So you are applying learn. Learn means love equates above reason now. There are going to be things that happen through this process that you cannot reason with your analytical mind. So I'm going to probably say that a lot to you until it sinks in. You ever saw something and you go, oh, that's miraculous? You ever had something that goes, oh my God, that was a lifesaver, that was a miracle? Okay. Love equates above reason now. Now, if you're learning, there's a part of you, and this is what I believe, if you're in this learning process and you're applying that love equates above reason now, your gifts have been unfolding, your intuitive gifts, and whatever those look like, because everybody can look different. Not everybody's the same. Okay. Just know that those have been unfolding as you're going through this process. And you will notice maybe that what you're getting is even stronger, or even your gifts are evolving. That is you being more connected as you're going through this every day. Okay, so don't be alarmed if, oh my God, all of a sudden your gifts have changed. Well, if you're evolving, why wouldn't they evolve? Why wouldn't everything evolve with you? Right? That is not to be afraid of. I have people that come here and they come to classes or I work with them energetically, and then all of a sudden the gifts are shifting. I'm like, don't be afraid of that. It's okay. That's a natural process that is supposed to happen. That means you're making forward movement, or something is shifting and changing for you in some way to assist you in the long run. Don't automatically go to a place of, oh my God, this is terrible and I don't know what to do now. Now, so just know that everything serves a purpose that comes into your life. And intentional living can look much simpler than this. I take intentional living to a place of your spirituality and your divine being. So some people can talk about, oh, you just need to set intention and you might have a little affirmation. And this is much bigger than that for me. This is a new way to live, literally. Okay, so it's a process that you become aware of, and it helps you to actually feel empowered. And that is where we want to be. We want to be understanding that the universe and is not against us, and get our mind in that place of understanding that and create a whole new reality of that, and then learn to be participating more as a co-creator. We'll step more into that in probably episode 4. But the first thing is you've got to get through these and accept these things and let that integrate, or you're doing that on the daily. And sometimes if you're not getting it, the universe will help you to put you in a situation to where you have to apply it. Okay. And you can get around it and skirt around it if you want to, here and there, but it's going to keep showing up to help you out. So just know, again, there's no wrong and right. You have choices in life. Okay. I'm just giving you from my experience that I've been able to watch with myself and others, and also to telepathically receive from my team and God and angel, and we can name them all, to help me understand what it is that we need to do to put us in the best position, become more than we've ever been in any lifetime. Thank you for joining me here on Intentional Living, and I will see you coming up in episode.